Paris. We all know it, right? The city of light, the city of love, and for a very, very small group of people, it's the city of just insane luxury. Over 30 million people visit every single year, but today we're going to pull back the curtain and see how the ultra-wealthy do it. So let's dive into this world of high-octane opulence.
So that's the big question we're asking today. What if money was no object? What does Paris actually look like when your budget is literally unlimited? We're talking private yachts, personal stylists, and hotel suites that cost more than a brand new car for just one night.
So the first thing you have to decide, like any traveler, is where you're going to stay. But for the super rich, you're not just looking for a room. You're choosing a palace. And believe me, in Paris, the competition for the most over-the-top decadent stay is fierce.
Okay, so let's put some numbers on this, just to get a sense of the scale we're dealing with. We'll start at the Hotel Plaza Athénée. The Royal Suite here, which is kind of the benchmark for Parisian luxury, is going to set you back just under $44,000 for one night. And folks, that's our baseline.
But if you think that sounds steep, just hold on. Because over at the legendary Ritz Paris, the Imperial Suite goes for over $70,000 a night. A night. We are in a totally different stratosphere of spending now. It's a level of opulence that's almost hard to wrap your head around.
But the place we're going to focus on today lands right between those two. It's the iconic Hotel de Crillon. Here, the most exclusive suite comes in at a truly eye-watering $52,000. So, what in the world do you get for that kind of money?
Well, this quote from the hotel's managing director kind of says it all. It's not just about luxury, it's about creating exceptional memories. This isn't a room you book for a business trip. This is a service that's designed for those huge milestone moments where every single detail has to be absolutely unforgettable.
And a huge part of the appeal is the history. I mean, you're not just staying in a building, you're staying in a landmark. It was originally built as a private home way back in 1758. It's seen everything from the French Revolution to World Cup victories right outside its windows. That $200 million renovation, that wasn't just an update, it was about polishing centuries of incredible heritage.
The result is what the French call an hôtel particulier, basically a grand private home, and it's become the go-to hideaway for A-listers. And if you want the absolute ultimate stay, the most exclusive suites, called Les Grands Appartements, were one of the very last projects personally designed by the late fashion icon Karl Lagerfeld himself.
Okay, but what if the non-stop buzz of central Paris isn't really your scene? For those who want total seclusion without giving up an ounce of luxury, there's another option. Your own private chateau, just a 40-minute drive from the city.
So now you have a fascinating choice to make, right? On one hand, you've got the chic, central, modernized history of the Hotel de Crillon. And on the other, you have the secluded 17th century charm of the Château de Villette, a place so grand they actually call it Little Versailles. And they don't call it Little Versailles for nothing. It was built by the same architect who designed the actual Palace of Versailles. It's hosted everyone from Thomas Jefferson to Tom Cruise, and it's been the backdrop for over 80 movies. So what does a week here cost? That'll be nearly $270,000. A huge part of the appeal here is how it just transports you back in time. The whole place was renovated to bring back that 17th century spirit. It really makes you feel like you're living in a different era, surrounded by gorgeous forests and in total seclusion.
But this is where it gets really, really cool. Hidden under a 15-ton stone floor is this marvel of engineering, a modern swimming pool that just appears at the push of a button. It is the perfect blend of historical fantasy and 21st century secret agent-level luxury.
So once you've settled in, the next priority is, of course, the food. And we're in France, the birthplace of the Michelin Guide, where fine dining is taken to a whole other level. Let's explore the absolute pinnacle of the culinary world.
So to understand the landscape, let's start big. Across the entirety of France, there are 630 Michelin-starred restaurants. That's an incredible number, but for the journey we're on, we need to be way more exclusive.
So let's narrow that down. In the capital city of Paris, only 9 restaurants hold that top honor, the coveted 3-star rating. That's it, just 9.
This is the elite of the elite.
And among those 9, you've got places like these. There's Ki, which fuses Japanese and French cuisine to create dishes that the guide says verge on perfection. You have Epicure, which is unapologetically traditional. And then there's Le Cinq, described as pure, unadulterated style and opulence.
You know, at a restaurant like Le Cinq, which has a 50,000-bottle wine cellar, the whole experience is about more than just what's on your plate. As the sommelier Eric Baumart explains, guests don't just want a great wine, they want the story that goes with it. It's all about creating a unique memory, an experience you just can't get anywhere else on Earth.
Okay, so we've covered where to stay and where to eat. What about the rest of the day? Well, for the super rich, it's all about one thing: access. Private, personalized experiences, far, far away from the public eye.
Let's take shopping, for example. At Saint-Martin, one of Paris's oldest and most beautiful department stores, VIPs don't just browse the floors with everyone else. Oh no, they are whisked away to a private apartment inside the store for a completely exclusive session with a personal stylist who curates everything just for them.
And this quote from one of the stylists really captures the role perfectly. They don't just see themselves as someone picking out clothes. They see themselves as a maestro, someone who is orchestrating a magical, completely seamless experience from start to finish.
And after a long, hard day of private shopping, how do you unwind? Well, how about by sipping champagne on your own private, totally silent, 100% electric yacht on the River Seine? This little vessel, the Cashmere, has hosted stars like Brad Pitt and Julia Roberts, and it offers this incredibly intimate and serene way to see the city's landmarks. So after seeing all of this incredible luxury, the palaces, the private access, the curated perfection, it's pretty easy to be dazzled. But it all brings us back to something really important. While money can definitely buy you exclusivity, the actual feeling of Paris, that simple magic of the city, that's free.
Which really leads to a final thought. We've just seen Paris through a lens of almost unimaginable expense. But does the story behind a $50,000 suite or a $1,000 bottle of wine really create a more powerful memory than one you might find for free just by getting lost on a cobblestone street at dusk? It's something to think about.